Hey there everyone, how's it going? I'm thrilled to dive into a fascinating topic with you all, the iconic Alfa Romeo SZ and RZ. Let's get ready to explore these beauties together. Fun fact number 1, the Alfa Romeo SZ's name stands for Sprint Zagato. Fun fact number 2, the Alfa Romeo SZ was not designed by Zagato. Even if it wasn't right there in the name, you'd be forgiven for thinking this peculiar-looking coupe was penned by Italy's most idiosyncratic carrozzeria. Look at what Zagato did come out with around this time. The Aston Martin V8 Zagato, the Autech Stelvio, the one-off Ferrari FZ93, and the SZ, with its bizarre proportions, resolute angularity, and almost brutalist style, fits right in. The fact is, though, that the famed purveyors of double-bubble roofs, which the SZ lacks, a hint that all is not as it seems with that name, had a side hustle around this time of not designing, but building niche, smaller production models for other manufacturers. They'd previously done the same with the Spider version of the Lancia Beta, which was a Pininfarina design, but the SZ was penned in-house at Alfa. In fact, the basic shape was crafted by Robert Opron, a man with a track record of unconventionally beautiful cars, most notably the Citroën SM. Conceived in an effort by Alfa to reassert itself as a serious player in the modern rear-drive sports car market, the starkly angular SZ launched in 1989, and was perhaps a culmination of all the stylistic excess that had been building throughout the 1980s. It was a fine way for the decade's automotive design tendencies to bow out before giving way to the pebbly smooth aesthetics of the 1990s. It also characterized the 80s obsession with the pre-internet digital world. From the era of 8-bit video games, brick-sized mobiles, and the square-headed characters in the video for Dire Straits' Money for Nothing, came the equally boxy SZ, the first car designed entirely using CAD CAM. This thing is basically Giorgio Moroder with 4 wheels. In the years since, so much of the discourse around the SZ has revolved around its styling, far from all of it positive. With its almost hunchback profile, slab sides, and insectoid sextet of headlights, it's gained the nickname of Il Mostro, the monster. It was a bitter pill to swallow for those who yearn for the days of curvaceous, swoopy alphas. But here's the thing, look at what's in vogue right now. Mullets, pit vipers. Everything we once thought was kitsch and gaudy about the late 1980s is suddenly cool, and doesn't the SZ fit right in all over again? If you still can't get on board with the looks though, then what's underneath might be more to your taste. The SZ was based on the 75, Alfa's compact exec saloon of the era. Already, this was a good start. Alfa's last rear-drive saloon until the current Giulia, the 75, featured a weight distribution-friendly transaxle layout. The SZ wasn't a simple rebody though. The chassis was shortened, and the brakes and suspension were transplanted from the 75 Turbo Evolution, a competition variant that ran in the US-based IMSA Championship. Then, of course, there was the engine. Enough's been written about Alfa's long-lived and gloriously musical Busso V6, but there's nothing much worth adding about it. It's simply intoxicating. It appears in 3.0-litre, 12-valve configuration in the SZ, making 204 bhp as standard. The bodywork was made from revolutionary for the time composite fiber, keeping mass down to 1,280 kg, as well as protecting it from Alfa Sud-style rot. The healthy power output and lithe weight meant 0, 60 in 7 seconds, and a top speed of 152 mph, comparable figures to an S2 Porsche 944. Just over 1,000 SCs were produced between 1989 and 1991, all left-hand drive and in Alfa Red, with the exception of one black car commissioned for Andrea Zagato, CEO of the eponymous firm. Once SC production was done, a convertible version, the RZ, Roadster Zagato, was built between 1992 and 1994, Something around 280 of these were built. This SZ, proudly bearing the Il Mostro name on its rear plate, is something of a family heirloom for its owners, Jacob and Stacy. My dad bought the car 26 years ago, explains Jacob. I was 1 month old, and I went with him and my mum on the Eurotunnel to pick the car up from a car park in France. I've known it for my whole life. The car is now in Jacob's hands, approaching triple-figure kilometers. Naturally, a 30-plus-year-old Alfa Romeo isn't the best companion for daily use, so the SZ comes out for special trips, Goodwood, Le Mans, All Italia in the yard, and so on. Daily duties are handled by an eminently sensible BMW 520d Touring. Jacob also has a 997 Porsche 911 Carrera S that's gradually being fitted out with GT3 parts in order to create a sort of 997 interpretation of the more recent GT3 Touring concept. What's the Milanese monster actually like when it does come out to play? It's running a little bit more power than it used to, says Jacob. It's got lovely cams and a racing ECU. The latter comes from the SZ Trofeo, a racing version built in low numbers for one of the weirder one-make race series that's ever been conceived. It's brilliant to drive, continues Jacob. It's got that proper mechanical feel. It needs a respray. The paint's blistered, which is unfortunately common on these. The only place it can rust is around the rear windscreen, and it has rusted there, so it needs that repairing. That'll probably be done over the winter. What of the longer term? Jacob and Stacy are expecting their first child, so it's hoped that the SZ will become treasured by a third generation of their family. If this one's into cars, it'll be hers. If not, it'll be the next one. It'll definitely be in the family forever. This is one of the beautiful things about cars, their ability to become an extra member of a family, akin to a beloved pet or an ancestral home. It doesn't matter if a car's been as publicly controversial as the SZ has over the years. To the people who care for it, it can be everything. Now I will inform you about Alfa Romeo RZ. Compared to the SZ, the windshield of the RZ was placed a bit flatter into the airstream. In addition, the long, sloping rear window of the coupe was eliminated, as was the attached rear spoiler. Instead, the RZ features two suggested humps behind the seats, reminiscent of the legendary double-bubble roof from Zagato. Underneath them is the compartment for the soft top. Anyone expecting a decent trunk in view of the angular body will be disappointed by the small flap between the taillights. It only reveals the space-saver spare wheel, which is included as standard. Suitcases or travel bags don't fit in here. The general everyday utility of the RZ is correspondingly limited. Ultimately, it was a pure sports car for up to 2 people, which can preferably be taken out on sunny days on country roads. For this, the RZ, like the SZ before it, offers the best genes. The floor assembly came unchanged from the Alfa Romeo 75, giving a wheelbase of 2.51 meters. However, the overall length was around 27 centimeters shorter. There was no choice of engine. A 3-liter V6 with 154 kW 210 HP worked under the large hood. The 5-speed transmission and limited slip differential were mounted on the rear axle in a transaxle design. The datasheet specified 152 miles per hour as the top speed. Robert Opron, who had previously designed the SM and CX at Citroën, had been working at Fiat Centro style since the 1980s. With the SZ and RZ, he designed a special sports car that attracted particular attention with its lights at the front and rear. All body parts are made of glass fiber reinforced Modar, a special methacrylic resin, and sit on a steel skeleton. Compared with the SZ, the curb weight of the RZ increased by around 120 kilograms due to additional stiffeners. By choosing the body color, the customer automatically committed to an interior color as well. Yellow and red cars received black leather, silver and black cars came with burgundy seat covers. Originally, Alfa Romeo planned a run of 350 units. However, due to the relatively high price of 140,000 decimeters in KEL 14% VAT, only a few customers were found. In total, only 278 vehicles rolled off the production line by the end of 1993, 3 of them in silver. Zagato built and sold the final 37 examples on its own. One yellow vehicle, number 137, is currently, January 2022, for sale in good condition through the classic car dealer Issimi. With less than 48,000 kilometers of mileage, the car is said to cost €99,900. Wow, what an incredible ride exploring the Alfa Romeo SZ and RZ together. But wait, the adventure doesn't end here. We're dying to know what you thought about it all. Don't be shy, share your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, while you're at it, show us some love with a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more exciting content. Until next time, folks, farewell for now.